The crimson sun of Kepler 442b cast long shadows across the Galactic Defense Academy's training grounds as Commander Vex Thul surveyed the line of trembling cadets. His four eyes gleamed with predatory satisfaction. Today's final examination would separate the wheat from the chaff, as the humans so colorfully put it. "Behold," the towering Zephyrian commander announced, his voice a guttural rasp that made several cadets visibly flinch. "The Keth Mori, the ultimate test of a warrior's mettle." The massive containment field shimmered and dissolved, revealing the creature within. Standing 12 feet tall on muscled hind legs, the Keth Mori was a nightmare given flesh. Its obsidian hide rippled with bioluminescent scars, each mark representing a battle survived, a foe conquered. Rows of crystalline teeth gleamed in its elongated maw, while 6 amber eyes scanned the assembled cadets with ancient malevolence. This particular specimen, designated War Beast Alpha 7, had been captured from the death world of Mortis Prime after it had single-handedly devastated an entire Confederation outpost. Riza, a promising young Altarian with scales that shifted nervously from blue to pale green, stood third in line. His telepathic abilities had earned him top marks in strategy classes, but physical confrontation had always been his weakness. Beside him, other cadets from across the galaxy waited their turn. Zephyrians with their natural armor plating, Centaurians with their enhanced reflexes, and various other species that comprised the Galactic Confederation's finest. At the end of the line stood the human. Anna appeared utterly unremarkable compared to her alien classmates. No natural armor, no enhanced abilities, no evolutionary advantages that had been honed over millennia of survival on hostile worlds. Just 5.5 feet of what most species considered to be one of the galaxy's most average life forms. Her dark hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, and her brown eyes watched the proceedings with calm attention. "The rules are simple," Commander Vex Thul continued. "Approach the Keth Mori. Survive its evaluation. Those who pass will graduate to active duty. Those who fail—" He gestured to the medical bay visible through reinforced transparasteel windows. "Will recover in time." The first cadet, a hulking Goranian whose species had evolved from pack hunters, stepped forward with confidence. The Keth Mori's head swiveled toward him, nostrils flaring as it caught his scent. With a sound like grinding metal, it released a low snarl that reverberated through the training ground. The Goranian's bioluminescent patches flared in a display of aggression, matching the beast's challenge. For 30 seconds they stared at each other, predator evaluating predator. Finally, the Keth Mori gave a grudging grunt of approval and stepped aside. The Goranian had passed. The second cadet, a silicon-based crystalloid, approached with measured steps. Again the beast snarled, its massive claws scraping against the reinforced flooring. The crystalloid's body shifted through prismatic colors, displaying complex mathematical patterns that somehow conveyed respect and determination. After a tense moment, the Keth Mori allowed passage. Riza's turn arrived, and his scales had turned a sickly yellow-green that betrayed his terror. The Keth Mori's snarl was particularly fierce for him, perhaps sensing his fear. Riza's telepathic abilities reached out instinctively, touching the edge of the creature's consciousness, and immediately recoiled. The mind he encountered was ancient, primal, filled with the memories of countless battles and the screams of the defeated. But buried deeper, he sensed something else, a grudging respect for courage even in the face of certain defeat. Drawing upon every lesson about bravery he'd learned from his human classmates, Riza straightened his spine and met the beast's six-eyed gaze without flinching. The Keth Mori's snarl faded to a rumbling growl, then silence. It stepped aside. One by one, each cadet faced the creature. Some passed through intimidation, others through displays of strength or tactical intelligence. A few were carried away by medical drones, their evaluations having gone poorly. Finally, only Anna remained. The human walked forward with neither the swagger of overconfidence nor the trembling of fear. She simply approached, her soft-soled boots making barely a whisper against the metal flooring. The assembled cadets and instructors leaned forward, curious to see how the galaxy's most average species would fare against its most dangerous predator. The Keth Mori turned to face her, and something extraordinary happened. Instead of the bone-rattling snarl it had given every other cadet, the creature went completely still. Its six eyes fixed on Anna with an intensity that made the air itself seem to vibrate. For a long moment, neither moved. Then slowly, The 12-foot nightmare lowered its massive head and bent its front legs, dropping into an unmistakable position of submission. The Kethmori was kneeling. Gasps echoed through the training ground. Commander Vexthul's four eyes widened in disbelief. In 3 decades of using Kethmori for evaluations, he had never seen anything like it. Anna stepped forward and, to everyone's amazement, placed her small hand on the creature's scarred head. The beast's eyes closed and a sound like a massive cat's purr rumbled from its throat. "Impossible," whispered Riza, his scales flickering between confusion and awe. But Anna understood. Humans had something that most species in the galaxy had long ago evolved beyond: the ability to form bonds with other species, no matter how dangerous or alien. On Earth, her ancestors had turned wolves into dogs, made allies of horses, and found companionship with creatures that should have been their predators. The Kethmori sensed this ancient gift, this willingness to see past the surface to find connection. In Anna, it recognized not a threat to be evaluated or a weakness to be exploited, but a potential pack leader, something its species had been searching for since their homeworld was destroyed centuries ago. "How?" Commander Vexthul demanded, his voice barely a whisper. Anna looked up from the kneeling beast, her expression serene. "Sometimes the strongest weapon isn't strength at all, sir. Sometimes it's understanding." As she walked past the creature toward the graduation platform, the Kethmori rose and followed her, its massive form padding behind like an oversized, nightmare version of humanity's oldest friend. The other cadets watched in stunned silence as the human, unremarkable, average, supposedly weak, led away the galaxy's most feared predator as if it were coming home. In that moment, they all learned the most important lesson of their military careers: never underestimate a human's capacity to turn an enemy into an ally. The galaxy was about to discover why humanity, despite lacking natural advantages, had become the Confederation's most effective peacekeepers. It wasn't their technology or their tactics, it was their hearts.